Good evening, Ed. I hope you are well, buddy. Well, it's afternoon now, but it'll probably be evening by the time you get this. But first of all, welcome to my online coaching platform. Obviously, it's a pleasure to have you on board. So this video is basically going to explain the layout for you, unique to you, and obviously go through how everything works and stuff like that. I know you've had access to the Drive and the portal, obviously, beforehand, to understand, well, come to better grips with everything. But like the whole purpose of this is to explain it to you so we can get the ball rolling. But always remember that this is new to you. So it's going to take time to absorb everything. I don't expect perfection straight away, but all I ask is that you give this everything. And at the end of the day, every week we're making progress. That's all that matters. As long as you're making progress every week, that is the main thing that matters. So obviously this is phase one, and our goal is to improve your overall body comp, health markers, sleep, stuff like that, and improve your strength in the gym. So this is obviously the cover. So what you have is, when I back at this, you have your home hub here. Move my head. So you have your check-in sheet. So for each week, you have a log sheet. So this is basically your weekly check-in process, is these two sheets here. And then you have a shortcut to the education portal, which basically just links it straight there for you, so it's easier for you to find, basically. You've got your nutrition, your photos, your starting documents, and then your training folders. If you ever don't want to do recordings or anything like that, you're more than welcome to make new folders or any other folders you want, like people do blood tests, stuff like that, whatever. Obviously that's a bit different, but whatever you want to do. This is our hub to share between me and you. Oh, needs slipped off my desk. So like don't be afraid to, this is just as much yours as it is mine. So don't be afraid to make changes or anything like that. As long as you're not changing the setup that I use. As if you want to add to it, fire away, do whatever you need to do. So you have your nutrition plan here. So you've got nutrition. You have your photos in here. So for each week on your check-in, obviously these are the starting photos. These are for us to obviously keep track. So next week, well, your first check-in will be week 1. So you make a new folder, call it week 1. Then week 2, week 3, stuff like that. Then you've got starting documents, like I said. Obviously, this is going to contain other stuff. And then you've got your training program in here as well. And you've obviously got your check-in sheet, log sheet, which I'll go through in a second. 1 second. Apologies, buddy. I've still got a freaking tiggly cough and I can feel it the more I talk. But yeah, so basically you can download an app on your phone. You can get the Google Drive app and you can download Google Drive so Google Sheets. And obviously you can do this on your phone. Just make sure that when you do it on your phone and you edit the check-in sheet, you press the green tick. That's the biggest thing people like forget to do. But it's all broken down in the education portal Kickstart. So when I tell you that, oh, that video is explained more in the Kickstart, I mean in these videos here. So I'm assuming you've watched these pretty much already, but if you haven't, please do, or even watch them again. And the check-in has changed slightly. Some bits have changed, but I'm going to break down bits that have changed for you. But the idea is obviously watch each of these and fully take in all the information and watch it as many times as you need to, buddy. Like there's no, at the end of the day, the more you like look at that and the more you absorb that information, the smoother this process is going to be and the quicker you're going to make progress and make results as well. So to get things started, we'll start with the starting documents. We've got your goals and supplement sheet. So this sheet basically explains all the goals that I've set for you in this phase and obviously supplements to help you with it and lifestyle tips, stuff like that. So we've got to optimize your carb tolerance, increase and maintain lean mass while reducing body fat initially, then look to start developing your physique and build confidence. Well, that comes as a hand in hand. Improve gut health, so just belching and gas, just digestion as a whole. Decrease suspect inflammation levels, those little amounts that we found. Sleep through the night without waking and increase sleep efficiency, improve overall stress management, and then gradually increase fiber intake. So they're just basic goals, but those goals are all going to come hand in hand with just following this plan as close to a T as possible, basically. Sleep and stress are literally, sleep is one of the most underutilized things, and I'm going to do a whole talk on sleep and do it as like a webinar as well, because it is something that is fundamental for overall health, physique, muscle development. Absolutely, I think sleep is king. If you can put the benefits of sleep in a pill, you genuinely be a millionaire. So that's one thing I will definitely like put on right now, that we want to optimize as much as possible. And I can tell, like when you messaged me earlier, that you've already got up early and stuff like that, and you're excited to get going, that you're going to absorb all this. But things like what I'm wearing right now, blue light blocking glasses, 100% useful. Like they really, really are. And like things like blue light really can hinder sleep quality, overall health, and they're not a fashion statement, they genuinely are. Like if I don't wear my blue light blocking glasses at night now, and my body is so used to wearing them, I actually get headaches. So back before COVID, if I went to the cinema, for example, I would get headaches and like get really bad migraines because my body's so used to not seeing blue light, like in the evenings, that when I do wear it now, if I don't wear it now, that actually triggers quite a big stress response in my body because of that exact reason. So the body's not supposed to be seeing blue light, artificial light once the sun goes down. because it represents the sun, mimics the sun. And your body, you're telling your body it's 12 p.m. when it's like 9 p.m. And it's like, because it really confuses your body and it causes a lot of issues. So it's no wonder a lot of people have sleep issues. And you name a person that gets perfect sleep. It's very, very rare. And what do we have all around us now? Artificial light. So this is one tip of many that can help. But for you, buddy, honestly, like I said, this whole document here, read it as much as you can, because all the information and tips in here are there to help you. But that's one of many. And what the main things I want to kind of address or like help you with going forward from the start is just gut health as a whole, belching gas, stuff like that, because that is what's going to be fundamental to dropping inflammation, improving your physique. High stress, so like waking in the night, helping your body recover, because again, physique development and health, and inflammation. So the inflammation, I don't think it's excessive. I just think it's something that just needs a bit of a tidy up. Once your lifestyle improves, that should improve. So I'm not actually that worried about it, but I obviously want it to go immediately. So I think once your inflammation drops off, you're going to look very, very lean very quickly. So this is why I just want it to go quickly, get out of the way, and then we just start reverse dieting. Once we see your physique in a great place, like if you came into this pretty experienced, I literally put you on a 4-week cut and then just not hammered you, but just dieted you for 4 weeks sensibly, and then start building tissue from there. But for you, this is a lifestyle change. We don't need to hammer you. We don't need to overwhelm you. It's only going to stress you out. It's not actually going to help you. Believe me, I made that mistake in the past to people like years ago. All we need to do is get you making 1% better changes every day. And then in the long run, you're literally, all the changes you make will be lifelong. So that's why these are the 3 biggest things I kind of want to hit. Supplementation. So I'm a big fan of supplements because I do believe everyone should be optimal. So with supplements, like the best saying, that's what I put in bold there: a nourished body burns fat and builds muscle much more easily. And by supporting your body's systems through like high intake of certain vitamins and nutrients, it really, really can make all the difference. And I'm not a big fan of like just telling you to take them, hence why all the supplements there have links, have descriptions, because I want you to know why, not just because I said so, if that makes sense. But if you do choose to get the supplements through the place that I've recommended, which is Nutri, which is one of many very, very good UK-based companies, the thing is with it, is the supplement industry, like any industry, is rife with poor quality. There's a typical high street shop that everyone goes to for their supplements, and it is rife with crap products. So it's like anything. Like magnesium, for example, is not a mineral that if you take magnesium supplementation, which I'm a massive fan of, it's made in a lab. It's not real. So to make it, you either make it very poorly or make it very, very, very good quality. So, and the price usually reflects the quality. And the poorer the quality, the more, to be honest, sometimes even harm it can do, and the poorer rate of digestion it has. So, for example, magnesium oxide will go straight through you and out your wee, where magnesium glycinate will most likely 90% be absorbed. So, but they're like £5 difference in charge in terms of a bottle, but people go for the cheaper one, which goes straight through them. So realistically, you're actually literally pissing your money down the drain. So this is why I recommend certain ones. So, like I said, the main brand I use is Nutri, purely because I've been a practitioner of theirs for over 5 years now. I think it's been 5 years. And they're not some like MyProtein thing that I just got a code. I genuinely had to pass 2 exams to get it, and I've been with them for a very long time. So I use them for like the basic supplements, like multivitamins, stuff like that. But there are other companies that I do like, and if I find them better somewhere else, I always recommend there. So for example, like the Liver Stack from Supplement Needs, or the Life Extension Cruciferous Veg, those sort of ones are better elsewhere. So I'm not bound to them by any means. It's just, that's just the one I choose to get the basics from. So if you visit their website and quote my practitioner's number here, that will basically give you 15% of the entire website. Drop me a message if you do it though, because I have to confirm it, because for some reason their system's been playing up lately. So if you do it, just drop me a message, because I have to confirm it and call them for you, or you have to email them basically, because for some reason it doesn't seem to always work at the moment because they're updating their website. Someone had this the other day. But there's 5 supplements that I recommend everyone should start with. So for you, just starting off, a fish oil, multivitamin, vitamin D, magnesium, and zinc would be awesome. But if you do want to invest further, obviously the more you can invest, the better. Would be a B complex that will help with energy levels and methylation, and a Nutri Advanced superfood greens powder. So that's for like your pre-workout meal, because obviously you haven't got a post-workout meal where you train late. And the idea of that is to make that meal taste better and also provide you with fruits, veggies, enzymes, stuff like that. It's the strawberry kiwi flavor as well, which is lovely. But other ones that aren't from Nutri themselves is the Supplement Needs Sleep Stack. So for you, this is basically to help you when you get to sleep. It will help you stay in a deeper sleep. It is the best sleep supplement on the market. The guy that helped me with mold, if you ever looked into my story, genuinely, he invented the supplement need range, so I trust him a lot. And he's very, very good at what he does, and he invented this. So honestly, I've been taking it now, God knows how long, and I will always take it. I literally buy it in like 3 months supply. Sorry, so 6 months supply, because I'd never want to run out of it. Because this, honestly, 2 pills before bed, you just ensures you get that optimal sleep. And I've tracked it plenty times, and it really, really does make all the difference, especially with you and how you're feeling in your sleep. And then the supplement needs glutathione. So for you, glutathione is like your master antioxidant. So just to give your body that support every day will aid with inflammation, will aid with stress, fat oxidation. It will literally support your body as a whole. Like glutathione literally is, like, if you're a Lord of the Rings fan, the one antioxidant to rule them all. It really is. It literally can, like, govern your body. It can actually break down biofilm as well, which is like antibiotic strands, like shields that strand bacteria. And it's absolutely nuts what you can do. So just simply like a teaspoon of that a day. I genuinely would say a teaspoon of that a day will keep the doctor away. That's how I look at it. But yeah, so that's why I recommend that. Ginger it before bed just really helps your stomach empty, and like it's an antimicrobial and anti-inflammatory as well. The super cortisol support from Now. This is basically a really, really good supplement to help you adapt to stress. So for example, for you, I've given it to you first meal, and then either last meal or before bed. So on your training days where you train in the evening, obviously it'd be before bed. On your rest days, it'd be your last meal. So the whole point of that is to basically blunt cortisol. So when you get stressed or anything happens, like cortisol raises naturally. But in today's time, cortisol stays high all day, and you don't want it to. You want to be in rest and digest most of the day. So when that happens, you blunt that response, and then magnesium will help calm you as well. So it's kind of like a double team from earlier as well. So I'm a big fan of these. Honestly, these make a massive difference. Then that with a sleep stack, you'd be like a Buddha. Not a fat one though. And then digestive enzymes, I'm not a massive fan of, but because we are experiencing belching and stuff like that, I would like to run this just as a backup and to start with. So while you're learning to like run this properly, digest food properly, improving digestion, we'll have this in, but I do want to wean off it because you don't want to rely on them. So it provides your body with the enzymes to digest food, right? But people usually find that when they have digestive upset, it's because they rush their food and they don't actually appreciate their food. So if you're chewing your food properly, taking your time to eat, if you're moving and eating your food, you're not going to digest it. I don't care what any bodybuilder says. If you, like, literally in a perfect world, you have no screens, no distraction, you sit there, you take at least 10 minutes to finish your food. Every mouthful is like 20 chews, like really calm your nervous system down. If your heart rate is raised in any way, you won't digest your food. Like if you always think prehistoric. It's such a weird way of saying it, but if you think of this logically, right? If you're trying to eat a burger and a lion's chasing you, do you really think you're going to digest that? Like, it's one of those, it's basic what you're doing. So if you're sitting there and your heart rate's high, whether you're being chased by a lion or not, your weight doesn't make a difference. Your heart rate is high, like agility is heightened, stress is heightened. The last thing your body wants to do, because it's in survival mode, is to actually digest. Because that's why there's literally two like sets for your body, and that's fight or flight or rest and digest. You're in one or the other. There's no in between. There's no like semi-stress. Your body's a light switch. It's either on or off. This is why we want to activate that parasympathetic resting system to then digest food properly. And believe me, most digestive stress disappears when you do that. And it's just habits and building new habits, right? And the last supplement would be the Life Extension Triple Action Cruciferous Vegetable Extract. Boom, I said it. This basically is a long list of cruciferous vegetables in like quite potent formats, along with DIM and stuff like that. And what this is going to do is just help break down estrogen. And this is what I said about the whole inflammation in the pec. To be honest, one bottle of this just more, and just having this in your system while we build your lifestyle up, I'd be surprised if you need to. You've actually started off like, I've pulled a lot of supplements out that I usually give people at the start to help like boost their like inflammatory clearing, because I don't think there's actually that much to do. I would just say that this is going to help with the estrogen initially, and inflammation in xeno and fake estrogens, which come from processed crappy foods and stuff like that. And then the glutathione combined with that as well. But in regards to like going forward, honestly, the digestive enzymes, the cruciferous veg, the ginger root, even maybe it's so cheap, I'd always keep it in, to be fair. B complex, Like all those supplements, I would say can come out when things improve and you get more like nutrient delivery from your food as well, and you get used to things. So like I said, these aren't permanent. A lot of them are. Like I personally would never ever take out Sleep Stack, Glutathione, the Basic Five, all those things. If you saw my supplement list, you'd be scared. But again, obviously it depends on the person. So that's the actual goals and supplement sheet. You got the manual there, but I'll go through that at the end. We've got your nutrition plan. So like I said, the Kickstart explains the process. So like I said, please do watch that. But for you, your layout at the top here, we've got upper body on a Monday, Tuesday is lower and arms, Wednesday is a complete rest day, Thursday is upper body 2, Friday is lower and arms 2. So you've got 4-day split, you've got 9,000 steps a day, and we've got 30 minutes steady state cardio on a Sunday, and then complete rest on a Saturday. You'll notice your calories are higher on the left on your training days, and they're lower on your rest days initially. I actually would like you to eat way more than this, and I reckon you can. The left is a training day, the right is a non-training day. Again, all this is broke down in the Kickstart. I'm just going to explain the unique parts for your plan. So you have meal order for you. You ain't going to have a post-workout. So, if you hear people train and they have that post-workout meal thing, all that bullshit. So because you train late, you're not going to come home and digest food optimally. Like, it's one of those things where so sleep is the most anabolic thing in the world, right? And if you try and eat stress, like I said earlier, you're not going to digest it. So if you realistically, you want to wait a good 90 minutes, maybe even 2 hours for newer people to fully calm down after a training session, especially with the nerves you're going to have going in there, to actually digest food. But then you want to make sure you leave it at least 3 hours before you go to bed for food to be emptied out your stomach so you can actually sleep properly. So you're screwed if we were to eat after, right? So what I do with people that train late is we have all your food up to your pre-workout meal. So like say 2 hours before you train, and then during your training, you have an intra-workout. So you have that of like a 1.5 litre water bottle. Please make sure it's at least 1 litre to 1.5 would be fine to start with. We don't want too much water to pour there. That should be fine. But not like, I wouldn't be hammering 2 litres. I would say 1.5 would be the max, but 1 to 1.5. You put 20 grams of EAAs, 20 grams of highly branched cyclic dextrin, and then that's what an intra workout is. So that's the protein and carbs. But I'm also going to add in L-carnitine, acetyl L-carnitine, 3 to 5 grams, trace minerals, 40,000 volts, which is an electrolyte formula to help you contract harder, 1 teaspoon, and then creatine, 5 grams. So I know you're going to say, where do I get all this from? What even is it? All of this is available on, like, I go on bulk powders. There's all these different sports companies, right? Just literally go on bulk powders. They're all in there, apart from the trace minerals, 40,000 volts. You get that on Amazon. So like I said, that you go on Amazon, trace minerals, it's like £15, I think. You just do a teaspoon, drip it in the water. That's fine. Don't ever have it neat. Someone made that mistake the other day. It's raw electrolytes. It tastes vile. So like I said, with flavoring though, personally, dude, I would get them all unflavored and maybe just get the creatine flavored because it's such a small amount. You don't want to be one of those people having loads of sweet things when they're training. Like, sweeteners aren't that great. There's loads of people that say, oh, they're harmless. They're really not. They destroy me. I have to have all that, what you see there. If I have it, I have to have it all unflavored. And I've got used to it now. So I always say that probably the creatine, because it's only 5 grams, have that a flavor, whatever flavor you want, or the EAAs, because it always be around 20 grams. But all the others just have unflavored, yeah? So acetyl L-carnitine, creatine or Crea Pure, essential amino acids, not BCAAs. There's a big difference there. BCAAs are pointless. And a highly branched cyclic dextrin, otherwise known as cluster dextrin. So that's what you're going to drink while you train. Obviously, you sip on that. But throughout the day, you've got 4 meals on both days. You've got the macros on the left, the foods in the middle. I haven't put you on an elimination diet, so to speak. We've got any meat or fish, any whole. You're free to choose foods. Just be very cautious of foods. And I'll go through that in a second. So we've got low and FODMAP vegetables, low and moderate FODMAP vegetables, sorry. And basically the grey explains the foods. With your pre-workout meal, this is like your fun-based meal. Personally, what I would do to start with, dude, I would start with the unflavoured hydrolyzed whey. It is unflavoured, obviously, but the Nutri Advanced Greens powder will give you a strawberry kiwi flavour there, just to avoid any digestive upset if there is any. And I would have that with probably buckwheat flakes, quinoa, buckwheat or rice flakes. The better alternatives, but I would say buckwheat flakes would be the best choice to start with, and have that with obviously fruit. The others we can try later, but just for a safer bet, the buckwheat flakes may be better. And then any polyunsaturated fat that goes well with that is absolutely fine. And that's obviously the pre-workout meal. But the idea is you experiment. You learn how to cook foods, prep foods, stuff like that. Obviously, I'm here to help if you need it. And then with your rest day, You've got like the fasted cardio in the morning, ideally fasted. Like I said, have a black coffee or green tea 20 minutes before, say on a Sunday, and just go there and do the rolling stairs. And then you've got your 4 meals. They're exactly the same, barring the first and last meal have fruit in them. The rest of it's exactly the same. The idea of this is just to like help with liver glycogen, obviously a bit of taste as well. But like I said, this is only the start. I do want to build your food much higher in this. We want to space all your meals 3 to 4 hours apart and aim to finish eating a minimum of 3 hours before bed, and fast for 12 to 20 hours from dinner to meal 1. So for example, on say your lower and arms day here, you finish your intra, I'd say 9 p.m. and then I wouldn't eat your breakfast the next day till at least 9 a.m. So at least 12 hours. Maybe once a week we run a 20-hour fast. It's not crucial, but it's always that window. It's purely because the digestive systems, it functions better in a fasted state in terms of repair. So if there is any inflammation present, it will flush out better in a fasted state. But again, not massively crucial. As long as we're getting 12 hours, I'll be fine. When calories build, obviously that'll be harder and harder to maintain, so don't worry about that. But that's just to start with. And then before bed, we've got 2 ginger root, teaspoon of trace minerals, and the sleep stack before bed as well. Sorry, my phone's going off. Bloody stop. And then throughout the day, we've got 3 to 4 litres of filtered water a day with no caffeine whatsoever after 1 p.m. And that includes Red Bull, coffee, obviously, green teas, normal teas, all these caffeinated drinks like decaf teas, decaf coffees, peppermint tea, chamomile tea, all those things are absolutely fine. But any caffeine after 1 p.m. will affect your sleep. That simple, and that's such a simple thing that people do. And then for your cardio, during the cardio, 30 minutes worth, keep the heart rate between 130 to 150 using the machine to track it for now, and using cross train or rolling stairs to avoid any joint damage. So that's it. That's explaining that. With your food list, we've got all your supplements in the middle here. Like again, like that's just for now, but print both these sheets off, have them in front of you when you go through that kickstart video, and then stick them on your fridge, and there's basically your life. It's easy as that. I've put in here a few foods. You see the info column in the middle? So this basically explains what is in each food. I've left the avoid elimination diet in just to make you aware of what I normally ask people to avoid. So any foods that contain gluten, dairy, corn, like sweeteners, those sort of things, just initially, just to see. But the idea of it is make you aware. You're more than welcome to try them, because I don't think we've got that much information to worry about or digestive stress to worry about, but I want to make you aware of it. Okay, so like I said, like I would be, for your carbs to start with, I'd probably stick with things like buckwheat pasta, quinoa, white rice, those sort of foods first, and then obviously introduce others as we go. And like I said, buckwheat flakes, rice flakes, and that pre-workout, sorry. And then for fats, like coconut options are fine. 100% dark chocolate will be fine, but obviously once a day. Like if you look on your things, only 1 saturated fat for a day is a reason for that. And then polyunsaturated fats, avocado oil, olive oil, almond butter. Again, as long as it's all weighed, you'll be fine. It's just to make you aware of what is in each food. And for your protein powder, like I said, the hydrolyzed whey protein isolate from bulk powders. So you can do a big bulk powders order. I would start with this. I really, really would. And then for fruit, again, feel free to try whatever fruits you like, but probably berries like blueberries are probably the safest to start with. And obviously meats as well. So bear in mind, these are all uncooked, but again, it all is broken down for you in the Kickstart video. So that's the nutrition plan. You've got, we've got your training program as well. So training program, again, I'm not going to spend too much time in this purely because the Kickstart video will explain it. But like I said, it's all broken down. The program, believe it or not, it might look overwhelming to you. It's incredibly simple. I've not done anything too fancy. We've kept it very basic because there's no need to overload you. There really isn't. All I want you to focus on is smashing each and every one of these movements. But all of these movements, more or less, are in the drive. So, for example, straight arm is, neutral medium grip is there, chest supported wide machine row. I've got a plate loaded one, not a machine one, but it's the same principle. It's the same as a bent over row, just on a machine. You've got 75-degree Smith, that's in there too. Your machine lateral raises, that'll be in there too. Also, the link you sent me, the PT in the background of one of them with his back to you, like in the corner on the right hand side, that's one of my clients, Ashley. He's the manager. So feel free to freaking pester him and say, Jeremy's my coach, can you help me? Don't tell him I said that. But yeah, so he's friendly as hell. I'm sure he'll help. He's literally my twin. But yeah, so all of this is here, and it should be absolutely fine for you to just, like, again, don't get overwhelmed. Go in there Write this down. Even if you want to do the same day on repeat until you nail it, do that, dude. I'm not expecting perfection. We just want you to, like I said, all I care about is you're taking the time to study. That's literally what I care about. So all these movements are in the drive, but the majority of them are. I don't think I've got a bicep curl in there yet because I'm actually getting a lot of them done professionally soon. So I've waited for that. All these others should be in there. Chest supported neutral machine row isn't, but it's the same as a seated cable row. Yeah, everything else is pretty much in there. Yeah, these are all in there, dude. So they should be absolutely fine. Majority of them are in there. So leg curl wise, I wasn't sure because the pictures that were on there weren't that zoomed in, but I've got a good guess what is at a Pure Gym. So seated leg curls and lying leg curls. Hopefully you have both machines. If you don't, just stick to one. So if you've only got a lying leg curl, that's fine. Obviously, I would like to use both, but obviously I'm not sure if they do have. Normally, most gyms like that have just a lying leg curl. But if they have a seated leg curl, it's awesome because it's a different way of attacking the movement. But obviously, at the bottom here, so you've got like RP sets, straight sets, drop sets, isometric sets. That's all broken down what that means here. And it also has more information here. So, for example, the isometric on this one is a 10-second hold at the end of the last set, a drop on the last set for this one, and then RP, you got rest pause to 50 on the last set on this one as well. So it's all explained here as well. And again, this is all in the drive. Just don't be overwhelmed. Sit there and study it. The more you can spend time, and I can say this to absolutely everyone, the more you can spend time in this portal, the more you're going to make progress. That simple, that clean cut and simple. And last but not least, we have your coaching manual. So this manual basically is going to explain everything I just said, and again it even breaks down the importance of nutrition. As an order, because this is all new to you, I want you to read this. I don't care how long it takes. Read it, absorb as much information as possible. It will answer little things here and there, even intra-workout, what that is. Even breaks down the info column, why certain food groups I like people to avoid initially and stuff like that, and just be aware of histamine, gluten, all those things. Intra-workout is broken down there, again, how to order it all. Starch and fruit, supplements, preparing your food, how I like to do it, seasonings. For you, I would stick to the NA ones for now, but then in the future, start playing and having fun and seeing what does sit, does and doesn't sit well when inflammation's in a better place. We've got how to train properly. Again, you've got a whole video on this, but again, we want I cannot stress enough how important this paragraph is. Like, people do not realize how to train properly. Just because something hurts doesn't mean you're training hard. People don't realize. If you watch my videos training, everything's slow and controlled and I'm screaming like hell, it's because even though that I am in so much pain, control is still there, execution is still there, and output is still there. Like, it is very hard to train truly intensely with as perfect execution as possible. So again, this is something that a lot of people don't take for granted. Many PTs do as well. This is why it's so good you started with this, because this is going to explain it, and you're gonna have like the greatest start possible because you're getting shown all this from the start. It may be overwhelming now, but in about a couple of months' time, trust me, you'll be leaps and bounds beyond any gym goer that's been just training as a hobby for 2 years. Believe me. So we've got breakdown of feeder set type, tempo grip, all that different training information. Training log, so always keep a training log. You have got your own one, which I'm going to show you in a second, on there if you want to use it, or you can use your phone, whatever you prefer. Weekly check-ins, so again, I'll go through that in a second on the sheet. Progress photos are just an example of physique-based ones. Equipment you'll need, so a stainless steel water bottle will be awesome. We'll get some rubber lifting straps for you. A tap water filter, you won't need bands. You will need cuffs in the future for some cuff movements. For now, I've kept it very basic though. D-handles, again, in the future, most likely. All this was very advanced stuff. Again, this will come in the future. Don't worry, but polar monitor to track your heart rate would be an awesome idea. Kieran's just started doing this as well. This literally tells me how stressed your body is. You'll be surprised how fundamental this data is for me checking how well you're doing. Blood glucose kit to check your blood sugar. Again, awesome. Absolutely awesome. There's a video on the Kickstart called Data Collection, and it breaks down this, HRV, everything on there. Step tracker. The body tape measure, please do get this ordered ASAP. Don't leave it, because at the end of the day for your check-ins, the first check-in we want data there. So again, this tape measure would be awesome. Just to, again, like this exact one you can do by yourself, and don't use a normal tape because the normal tapes aren't that accurate because they can just change. That has a circular part to it where it actually can go around your sites as well. And then a wristwatch or stopwatch to time your rest, stuff like that. And as you know, I'm on Instagram. Obviously you're on Instagram. Feel free to tag me and stuff. Honestly, the more people tag me, the better, because I can see what's going on. Obviously, I can share your stuff as well and stuff like that. Like, honestly, don't ever be worried about doing that. And before I go, I'm just going to go through your check-in sheet. So You got your check-in sheet here. So the Kickstart video, unfortunately, is slightly different to what you've actually got because I changed it. Cause that's what I do. So let me just move it over. So everything in that, watch the video still because it does break it down exactly how I'd like it. There's a few changes. So first of all, you have the confirmation button here. So you just press yes once you've done your check-in. It's that simple. No one has gone like that. But you also have choice of feedback. So not everyone wants videos like this. I'm going to do videos for you until you're comfortable. So don't worry. If you leave it on a most efficient option, that basically gives me the choice on what I think the response is best. To be honest, it usually is a video, either like this or on WhatsApp. It all depends. The only time I do a voice note is if someone actually asks me to, because I find them quite rude, because I think it's nice to get the personal approach like this. It basically just means if it's most efficient and I don't have to do much, then there's no point taking the extra half an hour, whatever it is, to do a video like this, when I can just send you a video on WhatsApp of me talking to the camera, and if needed, spin the camera around and just show the screen. It basically is just more time efficient, but again, that's for more people that just need to be updated and go, rather than people that actually need help like yourself. So you've got, again, I'm not going to go through it properly because it's when the Kickstart will be here forever otherwise. So again, it's all broken down in that video on how to fill in this data. You've got drop down menus, stuff like that. So again, fill this out through the week on your phone or your laptop, whatever's better. But please do not leave it till the last week and then rush it, because I can see if that's been done. It's pretty obvious. And if someone doesn't make the effort in their check-ins, I always say to them, like, you're leaving me no choice, but I can't give the effort back, because if you haven't put the effort in and recorded data properly, I'll make reckless changes and it's not going to help either of us. So I always say to people, put effort in your check-ins. If you see them as a hint, as a nuisance, then you're not going to progress. That simple. I'm very harsh with this stuff. But again, the earlier you check in, the better. You have to ensure a minimum of data of like measurements and photos is always done, and they must be sent before 6 p.m. on your check-in day. So your check-in date is on Monday, as you'll see here. So your week starts on a Tuesday. And then obviously message me once you've done it. Just drop me a WhatsApp or email, and then just put in here the why, just so I know for sure. But yeah, so this is all in here. Again, as much detail as possible. The Kickstart video will break this down. The more information, the better. The only added that aren't on that is you've got positive improvements. So like after reading Atomic Habits, this is like that 1% better every day. So every day you do something, like even if you like went to the gym for the first time in here, next day followed all my meals on plan. This day got up before 7 a.m. I never knew that. This day spent more time with family. This day went a whole day without needing a nap. Do you know what I mean? Like silly things like that. That 1% better every day. In 100 days, you're 100% better. It's a really, really good mindset to have. You've also got your wins for this week, so things you are most proud of for you doing, and also other comments, so a full rundown on your week. Like, feel free to fill that in. You don't have to like be shy. Things you struggle with, things you want to ask, anything like that, or you can put it in an email, whatever you prefer. You got your data tracking here as well, and then you got post-workout blood sugar readings here as well, and obviously a food log. So again, there's a lot here. Don't see it as overwhelming. Like, if there's anything I desperately need on your first check-in, I'll simply say in the check-in, I need this. I need this going forward. Like, again, this is just going to be baby steps and we'll go from there. I'm not expecting you to be perfect straight away. But one thing the video does show is at the bottom, you have 12 check-in sheets, just because people most, like, the starting process is 12 weeks and obviously going forward. But I've stopped doing that because I always update the check-in sheets at some point. So it's a template. So what I say to people is, obviously, this is your week one, fill this week in. Write in like the average data that's there all the time, so you haven't got to fill it in every time. And then what you'll do is you just duplicate it. So each week duplicate it and then change the name to week 2. And that's literally it. Like, rather than just having tabs constantly, if that makes sense. That's literally the changes to it. It's nothing too crazy. You also have log sheets. So this is going to help us track your foods. Again, broken down in the traffic light system in the Kickstart videos. And tracking logs. So you got your goals for this week and my goals for this week. So after the first check-in, you put what you want to achieve next week, like even these like little goals, and I'll put what I want from you as well. And obviously the week after we'll then assess and go back and then go from there. And you've also got a training log in here as well that you're more than welcome to use. So it breaks down all your lifts. You can literally write your program in or choose a certain movement and then literally log your lifts here as well, because you must track your lifts. Never train blind, especially if you're new to it. Well, to be honest, if anyone is not tracking their lifts, even your friends that train properly and stuff like that, if they're not keeping a logbook or tracking a proper program, they're not taking a training seriously. That simple. And if they think they are, they're morons. But very harsh with that too. So again, most of it, like again, all of that is all covered in Kickstart in greater detail. But again, this is 35 minutes of me showing you the basics. Imagine if I went through everything, be here for like 2 hours. But honestly, dude, like I said, spend as much time as you can in there. But honestly, super excited to get you started. I will do everything I can to help you, buddy. But like I said, feel free to WhatsApp me if you need anything. But really do spend the time, take the time. First check-in is this Monday. So again, start tracking things from today if you want to. You're more than welcome to. Any questions, fire away. Have an awesome evening, and I'll speak to you soon. Take care, buddy.